Yo, so just over a week ago, Central Cee and Sexy Redd released their new tune, Guilt Trippin.
Guilt tripping. You're a feminist, you don't believe in gender roles. Somehow I got you in the kitchen doing meal prepping.
So today, I'm going to be showing you lot how to make something similar. But before we dive into FL Studio and start creating, we need to figure out what genre this song is, because it's definitely not a sound that we're used to hearing from Central Cee or Sexy Redd. Through my own personal sort of analysis, I've come to determine that this song is a blend of your standard drill or hip hop tune with an emerging genre called Amapiano. Amapiano might be something that you're less familiar with. So, to give you a brief synopsis, Amapiano originated in South Africa, and it's often characterized by jazzy piano melodies, it has some house influences in there, and the iconic log drum bass lines. I could go on and on about the similarities between Amapiano and this new Central Cee tune. However, it's probably easier if I just let you hear for yourself. So I'm gonna play you this song. It's called Adewale. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that, but it's by an artist called Young Stunner. I'm gonna play you that song and then the Guilt Trippin song, and you should be able to hear the similar vibes.
You don't believe in gender roles. Somehow I got you in the kitchen doing meal prepping. Got the pepper, girl, I love it.
So unless you're tone deaf, you can hear the vibe is definitely similar in both songs. I think it's time we jump into FL Studio and get started. Your boy has some technical difficulties. It's a new day now, but regardless, we're finally in the FLP, 113 BPM. You know how we get standard Amapiano type of BPM. And the first thing I've done is I've pulled up the splice vocal, which sounds like this. The only effects I've got on it is a basic EQ and then the CLA LA2A compression. And I want to say, this isn't my normal process. Like most producers, I normally start by laying down some chords on a piano or guitar, but in Amapiano, the textures and the background ambience is just so important, I thought I'd start with that. And with this vocal down, it's time to go ahead and add some chords. And for that, I've pulled up Sky Keys, go-to plugin, super cheap as well. I definitely recommend all of you go and cop that. I'm on the soft piano preset. And I just use my MIDI keyboard to go ahead and lay down these basic chords. As for the effects on the piano, I don't want to gloss over that quickly. So this is how the piano sounds dry. It just fits way nicer and sits way better in the mix. All we've done is we've cut out the lows. Then we've got this good Hertz Evolve compressor, which is really good for those dark sort of pianos. Then a cluster delay by Minimal Audio. I'd say Minimal Audio plugins are kind of slept on, man. I see Chris Rich using them all the time. He's a fire loop maker. So yeah, I pulled up this cluster delay. It's actually got a lot of super fire presets, and the one I've used is this diffuse swing. It just kind of washes it out a little bit. And then, you know, we've got the standard Valhalla Room and Vintage Verb just to top it all off. I'm going to stop yapping and play you what we've got. The next thing I did is I took those exact same chords and layered them onto a pad from Des Wright's new plugin, Freak 2. Now, it's pretty CPU intensive for that plugin, so I've had to bounce it to audio. Here's how that sounds. So I've got that one at a lower octave, and then I just pitched it up for this high pad. I think we'll probably use this low pad in the intro and then use this high pad to build some energy and momentum when we go into the hook. See, even at this point in the process, my producer brain is already thinking about how I'm going to lay everything out. And I think that's important to look at the project holistically rather than layer by layer. You get me? A lot of producers will have this. Okay, yeah, this sounds good. Okay, yeah, this sounds good. Okay, yeah, this sounds good. But do they sound good together? And would they work in a full beat? That's something you guys should be thinking about. And a little gem that I wanted to drop on you in this video. And I guess the final melodic element that I wanted to add in is this texture, which I got from Synth Palace. These sort of pulsing textures are super common in Amapiano, but what I wanted to do was push it out wider in the stereo field to make sure it didn't interfere with anything we've already got going on and push it a bit more to the background. So to do that, I use this wider plugin by Polyverse, which is actually free. Then a cluster delay once again, this time on the Distant Wisps preset. We're definitely building a solid foundation. The next thing I wanted to add in was a perk loop just to kind of get the start of the bounce. I pulled in one from Splice, so with the perk loop on top, this is what we have. So with that down, we've got a bit of a bounce. It's now time for me to move on and do the bass. In trap and R&B beats, you kind of have three options. You got the Spins 808, the Zay 808, or a sub bass. In Amapiano, we use none of those. We're using log drums. I got this one from Splice. If you want the exact same one, I'm sure you can go and find it. That's the name of it. And before making this beat, I watched a couple Amapiano videos from popular Amapiano producers, and they said that they like to treat this log drum as a percussive element rather than a melodic element like an 808. They say they like to lay it down, and sometimes they won't even put the bass notes right. They'll just lay it down and get a rhythm. So that's what I'm going to do first. Basically got the pattern figured out. I just need to work out what I'm doing at the end of each of these 4 bars. I want to do something a little bit special. What I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to the perk loop we've already got. I kind of like that. So I'm going to try and bounce off of that rhythm. Yeah, I think that's it, man. I'm pretty happy with how this is sounding. I want you guys to hear something though, quickly. So if I make the velocity of all of these pretty much the same. That doesn't sound too bad, but it's going to be super evident here. Now, if I switch the velocity back to how I had it, randomized. Messing with the velocity just helps with the bounce so much. And for the final element of this bass section for the beat, we're going to add in a 4 on the floor kick pattern. Not every Amapiano song has this 4 on the floor kick pattern, but if we listen to Guilt Trippin' again, you will be able to hear that 4 on the floor pattern. If you don't know what 4 on the floor looks like, this is it. Copy it. With that put into our beat, here's what we got. I've made a couple Amapiano beats now before I made this one, and I like to do the kicks last because I feel like by adding them in first and then trying to make a log drum pattern kind of messes everything up, it gets my brain confused. So for me personally, adding in this 4 on the floor pattern last works the best. I've kind of arranged this beat out a bit, and I'm going to give you my rationale behind it. Some Amapiano songs, like the Guilt Trippin' one, come in with the drums instantly like this. This is common in Amapiano, however, I'd say it happens about 50% of the time, and I don't just want to straight up copy the Guilt Trippin' song. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a more slow build up, which does happen in Amapiano. So this is how we're going to start off. Then at the end of the 8 bars, we're going to add in the vocal, the kick, and the artist would potentially come in. I've pulled in the Central Cee and Sexy Redd a cappella, so you can kind of hear how it would sound as a song.
Baby, I'm built different. I feel bad, so I put you on a jet quick. And that's the real.
Then after 8 bars of that, we switch up and we bring in the high pad, which just brings in all that energy and fills out that top end, along with, you know, the splice loop that we had, as well as the log drum bass to pair with the kick.
I ain't perfect, I'm a mess. You ain't gotta believe me so quick. I wanna learn from my mistakes. Got me.
And then in Amapiano, there's a lot of specialized stuff that can happen before the artist jumps on it, but often after. So I kind of messed around and made this cool little beat stop.
You ain't a bitch, but baby, I'm my bitch. You ain't a hoe, but baby, I'm my hoe. I gotta repay you, gotta treat you like shit. I bet you.
And because of how I've done it, the pad still plays even when this stops. It would sound good without the vocals as well. So yeah, that's basically the whole beat. If you've got any questions for me, put them down in the description. I'm no Amapiano god, I'm still learning as well. So if you've got any tips for me, let me know. I think it's super cool that these new genres are being blended with other genres. House is blended in with Amapiano, with Afro beats, with, you know, hip hop vocals from Central Cee. It's cool that he's, you know, endorsing that as well. If you did get some value from this tutorial, go ahead, follow my Instagram. I'm always posting gems on there, and you can tap in with me, send me some loops and all of that type of stuff. If you want the loop from this beat, you want to add your own drums onto it or whatever, go down, click the link in the description, put in your email, and I'll send it over to you. Every so often, I'll also send you little leaks of upcoming kits and free pieces I source, so I definitely recommend you go ahead and do that. Throw me a subscription as well if you enjoyed the video. Don't want to make this outro too long. I'm going to leave you guys. Appreciate you lot tapping in, and I'll see you in the next one.